Chapter 1, the anniversary dinner. It was supposed to be a night of celebration. The restaurant was elegant, candlelight flickering across polished tables and soft music playing in the background. I had spent weeks planning this evening, our 10th anniversary dinner. The reservation had been made, the menu had been carefully chosen, and the night had all the makings of a perfect memory. But the moment my wife, Claire, walked into the restaurant, I noticed something was off. Her smile didn't quite reach her eyes, and her movements were stiff, calculated. As we were seated, she barely glanced at the carefully curated menu. She kept fidgeting, her gaze darting toward the door every now and then. I brushed off my unease, trying to focus on the moment. I lifted my glass of wine, ready to toast to us, but before I could speak, Claire cleared her throat. "There's something I need to tell you," she said, her voice steady but cold. Chapter 2, the betrayal. What followed was like a punch to the gut. Claire's words spilled out with alarming clarity, shattering the illusion of our life together. "I've been cheating for 2 years," she said, her tone devoid of remorse. "And I've decided to leave you. I'm moving in with him." For a moment, the restaurant noise faded into the background, replaced by the deafening silence of my thoughts. My heart should have broken, but instead I felt an unexpected sense of clarity. "Wow," I said, managing a smile. I raised my glass. "To new beginnings, then." Claire blinked, clearly taken aback by my lack of reaction. "You're taking this surprisingly well," she said. "Oh, I have my reasons," I replied cryptically, holding her gaze. Chapter 3, the unexpected guest. As Claire's confidence wavered, I leaned back in my chair, watching her closely. The door to the restaurant opened, and I saw the color drain from her face. She froze, her eyes locked on the figure who had just walked in. It was him, her lover. But he wasn't alone. The man strode confidently into the room, his arm around a woman I recognized instantly, his wife. Claire's composure shattered as they approached our table, the man's wife glaring at her with a look of pure fury. Chapter 4, the confrontation. The air crackled with tension as the four of us sat at the table. Words were exchanged, sharp, cutting, and full of betrayal. The man's wife revealed how she had discovered their affair, and how she had planned this moment with me as an act of poetic justice. Claire's smug demeanor crumbled under the weight of her lover's wife's accusations. Meanwhile, I remained calm, savoring the delicious irony of the situation. Chapter 5, Claire's collapse. The morning after the confrontation at the restaurant, Claire's life began to spiral. Her lover's wife hadn't held back, exposing the affair in vivid detail to mutual friends and family. The whispers spread quickly, leaving Claire scrambling to contain the damage. Calls and texts flooded her phone, outraged relatives, confused friends, even coworkers who had heard the scandal through the grapevine. Her carefully curated image of perfection shattered in an instant. Meanwhile, her lover was dealing with fallout of his own. His wife had packed her bags and filed for divorce, leaving him alone to face the consequences of their actions. Suddenly, he wasn't as confident or charming as he seemed when Claire had first met him. Claire's smug demeanor had vanished, replaced by desperation and regret. Chapter 6, the protagonist's perspective. As Claire's world unraveled, the protagonist found himself surprisingly calm. The dinner confrontation had been cathartic, releasing years of pent-up frustration and heartbreak. He focused on rebuilding his life, drawing strength from the moment he had taken control of the narrative. He wasn't vindictive, he simply wanted to move forward. His relationship with mutual friends shifted as many sided with him after the truth came out. The support he received helped him recognize that he was valued and respected, even if Claire had treated him otherwise. Chapter 7, a turning point. Weeks later, Claire reached out to the protagonist, her tone trembling with regret. "I made a mistake," she said, her voice breaking. "I thought I was chasing happiness, but I ruined everything." The protagonist listened, his heart steady. "What did you expect?" he replied calmly. "You made your choice and you hurt a lot of people along the way." Claire broke down, pleading for forgiveness, but he wasn't sure he could give her what she wanted. Forgiveness, he realized, wasn't about letting her off the hook, it was about freeing himself from the weight of her actions. Chapter 8, finding closure. In the months that followed, the protagonist focused on healing. Therapy became a cornerstone of his journey, helping him process the betrayal and rebuild his confidence. He rediscovered hobbies he had set aside during the marriage, traveling, painting, and learning to play guitar. He even met someone new, someone who valued him for his authenticity and kindness. Claire's pleas for reconciliation dwindled as she faced the consequences of her choices. Her lover disappeared from her life, leaving her alone to confront the reality she had created. Chapter 9, a poetic ending. One day, the protagonist found himself at the same restaurant where the anniversary dinner had taken place. As he looked around, he realized how far he had come. The pain was still there, but it no longer controlled him. He raised a glass to himself, to his resilience, and to the life he had reclaimed. Claire's betrayal had hurt him, but it had also set him free, free to live, love, and grow in ways he had never imagined.